My final and maybe favorite reason that I chose to call Solle Naturals home is the founders and executive team. And today I want to introduce you to one part of that team so you can hear from him directly. Lon Hudman is a founder and the vice president of marketing and events. He actually oversees all the fun stuff. And he also is in charge of digital marketing, social media, webinars, all the really fun things. And so, Lon, I have, with all of your industry experience and everything that you've done, what was it about the mission of Solle Naturals that you chose to be a founder?
Well, first of all, Erica, thank you for having me on this program. I'm excited to share a little bit about the founding of Solle Naturals. It really kind of started, I would say 35 years ago, because Greg Halliday, who is the president and CEO, and Corey Anderson, who is also one of the founders, the three of us were roommates in college. And not only did we have a great time and they were great friends, but they were people that I looked up to. And they were people that made me want to be a better person. And you all know people like that. When you're around somebody that just inspires you and makes you want to do better and be better, that's the effect they had on me. And so when we were roommates, we actually talked about someday maybe coming together and starting a company or going into business together. And that didn't happen as we graduated. After we graduated, we all kind of went our separate ways. And Corey ended up being the chief counsel for U.S. Steel. He was an attorney, went to law school. Greg ended up being the president of a nutritional supplement company. And I went off and started a production company, a marketing and production company. And we were doing big events all over the world. We were doing working for Fortune 500 companies. We did part of the closing ceremonies for the Olympics. We did presidential inaugurations. We even did a 4-city road tour with Oprah Winfrey all across the country. So we were having a lot of success. And so it took something really, really big to get me to, hey, I'm going to step away from this and do something else. And so Greg came to me 10 years ago. It's probably 11 years ago when he came to me at first. And he said that the company where he was at had just been purchased by a capital investment company. A group of investors had come in and they wanted to change the direction of the company. They wanted to focus more on, I think, diet products, weight loss products, and not so much on health and herbal supplements. Well, Greg had been helping to formulate these herbal supplements for many years, and he had gotten really good at it. And he said, I'm going to start my own company, and I'm going to focus on the mind-body connection. I'm going to focus on adaptogens because I know those things work. I've had that experience in my own life with my wife, and I'm excited about it. We really need your help. If you will come and help me just get the branding started, come up with a name for the company, a concept, and kind of get it started. Well, one of my partners in the event production company, Kendall, who is also a founder at Solle Naturals, he and I started working with Greg on the name for the company, the branding. We came up with working with Greg on the 4 categories, those icons that Debbie showed to you. And as we learned about the formulas that he was putting together, and we learned about the SMART plan, which you already mentioned. And I remember saying to Greg, I said, at the time, I'm saying, nobody else is doing what you're doing with the SMART plan. Nobody is calculating the bonuses on a monthly basis based on which level has the most activity. And he goes, as far as I know, nobody. And I'm like, you came up with that by yourself? I was a little surprised. Anyway, so as we learned more about what he wanted to do, Kendall and I became more and more excited about the company. We're like, you know what? I think we want to do this. This could be really something big. So we ended up selling our ownership to our third partner, to our production company, which still exists. And actually, you'll still see him. He comes and does our events and works with us and calls the shows. But Kendall and I joined with Greg and with Corey because they needed legal counsel, okay, to draw up the contracts and everything else. So Corey joined as a founder, and then Jordan and Blake, who worked with Greg in operations and sourcing all the raw materials for the products at the other company. So the six of us came together as founders because of Greg's vision and what we knew this company could become. And I think one of the coolest things about Solle Naturals is here we are 10 years later, okay? The same founding group is still involved with Solle Naturals, and that says a lot. I challenge you to go find any other company or any industry where the same founders 10 years later are still in the same positions, the same roles, still involved in the company. I think that speaks a lot to the integrity of the company, the longevity, and the stability of Solle Naturals. So anyway, that's really why I joined, just because of Greg's vision and what I saw this company could become, and it's actually becoming that.
I love that. Thank you so much for that story. I love the thing that I saw when I first met you guys 4 years ago, when I was just kind of looking, was this connection that I haven't seen anywhere in any company, just this real connection and just wanting everybody to win, like personally, like you really want to do business and life with people that you want to be around, you know. And I see that in Solle, not just in the field, but also in the founders. And it kind of blew my mind at first. But I have one more question. So now we're here 10 years later. What are you most excited about now? And what do you see for the future of Solle?
Well, you know, two things. And you have actually mentioned them earlier in your presentation. You mentioned that more and more people are concerned about the mind-body connection and their mental health as well as their physical health. And we are the only company that formulates every single product to have ingredients that deal with both the emotional and the physical side of the health equation. And so since we are the only one, we're also the first one. And so really our branding is centered around that whole mind-body connection. And as that becomes increasingly more important and relevant, I think Solle Naturals is just going to grow to places and beyond anything that we even imagined in the beginning. And you mentioned that $1 trillion industry. That's where we are. That's where we live. Okay. So that gets me excited. The second thing that you mentioned was it's getting more and more difficult and challenging for everyone to make ends meet. I mean, with what's going on with the economic situation and inflation, and we provide an opportunity for anyone, okay? Because everyone needs Solle Naturals products. Everyone needs to be focusing and working on their health, both emotionally and physically. So everyone you meet, everyone in your contact circle needs a product that Solle Naturals sells. So it's easy. All you do is find out what their health needs are and you offer a solution. And by doing that, you can actually make enough money to, you know, make up for whatever inflation is doing to your current salary. And so we provide an opportunity that isn't, there's no ceiling. There's no ceiling, there's no cap of what you can be with this business. If all you want is to make a few hundred extra dollars every month to pay for groceries and gas, great, you can do that. And we make it easy with the Share the Wealth program. If what you want to do is you want to have, like you, have freedom to be there, be present with your kids and your family and work from home or work from exotic locations around the world, you have that opportunity. There is no ceiling, and it doesn't matter your background and your experience, your education doesn't matter. That is not going to determine your success. You don't have to have a certain degree to be successful in Solle Naturals. You don't have to come from a certain economic background to have success in Solle Naturals. So everyone can succeed in this business, and that gets me excited.
I love that too. And I think that's what gets me the most excited, is that this is an opportunity for everyone. So for now, thank you for taking the time out of your day to get this information